It's the Great Model Railway Challenge, the show that takes you deep inside model railways. Isn't that right, James?
That's right, Tiny Tim. And with more big drama on little layouts, this show's guaranteed to grab your attention. Excuse me.
We've reached the semi-final stages of the Great Model Railway Challenge.
There's much more to come from these guys.
During the heats, our teams of modelling maestros blew us away with their incredible creativity and engineering expertise.
Ignition!
Now only 6 teams remain, and for them, this competition is about to get even tougher.
We'll be allowing no pre-builds. There's also an operational challenge. At stake are prized places in the grand final.
This is close, isn't it?
Yep.
Come on, give us a clue. Who is it?
There they'll do battle to win a coveted stand at the UK's most prestigious railway exhibition.
And the honour of being declared the new champions of the Great Model Railway Challenge. The top 2 teams from this semi will progress to the grand final. For the third place team, their journey on the Great Model Railway Challenge ends here.
This week, the 3 gangs of model railway workers hoping to avoid early redundancy are
Corby MRS, who pressed ahead in the first round with their crisp and efficient track lane.
We've never seen a team progress like this in such a short amount of time.
Absolutely fantastic, very impressive.
Corby went on to win their Restless Earth-themed heat with a layout packed with natural disasters. But the less-than-rock-solid performance of their trains almost saw victory slip through their fingers.
There were derailments and the trains didn't run.
Happily, none of those accidents have dented their confidence.
In any competition, there must be a loser, but it's not going to be us.
Well, the rail riders might just have something to say about that. They won their classic books-themed heat with a dazzling depiction of H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds.
I mean, the quality of what they did was top-notch.
But their Martian heat rays didn't light everyone's fire.
The laser beams shone, but every disco in the country has that kind of effect.
Rail riders know they need to bust some fresh moves if they want to stay in this contest.
We're really excited to be here at the semi-finals, but now it's the best of the best, so we're really up against it.
They don't come much better than our third semi-finalist.
If no one's got any questions, let's go for it.
Team Grantham's layout for our Sky's the Limit theme hit new heights when it scored a perfect 10 for its flawless functionality.
That is probably the best functioning layout I've seen. Wow, really impressed.
Their rivals will be hoping they've peaked too soon, but just like their rocket, their confidence is soaring.
We're buzzing with new ideas, and we think we can pull off another sensational layout.
As in the heats, the teams will have just 3 days to build layouts depicting this semi-finals theme: myths, monsters, legends and fables.
Teams, welcome back to the Great Model Railway Challenge, and congratulations on reaching a place in the semi-finals. But things are about to get a lot harder.
We'll be giving you a theme which is myths, monsters, legends and fables.
And as ever, you'll have 3 days in which to complete your layouts, and you'll be marked on creativity, functionality and build quality.
Enough of our yakking. What do you say? Let's bogey!
Hey! Come on, guys.
Right.
The semi-finals are fiendishly tough, even by the Great Model Railway Challenge's standards.
Unlike the heats, there's no pre-built items allowed.
All they've been given to help them get started is a baseboard fitted with a double loop of track. This will ensure a level playing field, but who will score and who will get relegated?
2 seasoned modelling professionals will make that call. Stony-hearted editor of Railway Modeller magazine, Steve Chopper Flint.
The tracks have been laid, so these guys are all out of the starting blocks together.
And renowned master modeller and vlogger, Kathy the Gaffer Millett.
So we're into the semi-finals, and the teams need to use tried and tested traditional techniques if they're going to succeed, but they also need to rip up the rule book when it comes to creativity. I want to see a railway I've never seen before.
As if building a layout from scratch in 3 days wasn't tough enough, in the semi-finals, teams must also overcome an operational challenge.
During their demos, they must load an item onto a train and transport it from one end of their board to the other without touching it by hand.
Hello, Francis. Are you happy to be here again?
I am extremely happy to be here.
What are you planning for us this time around?
We have tried to incorporate a few well-known monsters, King Kong,
King Kong?
Godzilla, and also the Loch Ness Monster.
Right.
Corby are throwing a monster's ball and everyone's invited. While a T-Rex goes on a bender, Nessie will be transported by train along an upper tier of track for a rendezvous with notorious party animals Godzilla and King Kong. Meanwhile, the Lady of the Lake will frolic in the misty waters while two biblical A-listers arrive in their birthday suits. How'd you like them apples, eh?
So you've got Nessie being united with Godzilla there.
Over here as well, we're going to be loading a pipe onto a wagon. That's the second part of our operational challenge.
Yeah. Why have you gone for 2 operational challenges?
Doubles up on our chances of actually getting something to work.
Oh, I see. So one of them should pay off.
The insurance policy.
This is high stakes. You've got 2 levels of track, 2 operational challenges. You've had issues with functionality in the past. Can you pull it off?
We can pull it off this time.
All right.
Les, main man of the Rail Riders. It's all right, it's cool. No, come on, put it there. How you doing? Great to
I'm
see
all
you
right,
again.
thank you very much.
What are we going to see on your
A
layout?
child's bedroom here that's been possessed by an evil tree.
Right, stop. A child's bedroom that's been... Look at that face. That's been possessed by an evil tree.
It's stuff of nightmares.
Yes, Les, but nightmares for whom? The Rail Riders' Halloween layout will centre on a large demonic growth bursting through a child's bedroom floor. Also planned are a spooky raised track level and a haunted toy box. For the operational challenge, a train will collect a hearse and carry it to the graveyard to be unloaded by a bony finger. Spine-chilling.
Tell me about your operational challenge.
We've got a skeleton arm to move a little hearse.
A hearse?
A hearse. Yeah, we've rehearsed this.
Oh, you've rehearsed. Oh, great. Oh, the pressure is on. So we'll get out of here and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Come on, then.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hello, Team Grantham. Do you know you were the highest scoring team of any of our heats?
Worked perfectly.
Well, it did work perfectly, Steve. I must admit, I was relieved but delighted.
And have you gone for something similar for this semi-final then?
No, we've actually gone completely in the opposite direction.
Using locomotives as stagehands and a rotating backdrop is a plan as daring as King Arthur himself. While the lady rises from the lake clutching Arthur's legendary weapon, the man himself will be hoisted onto his trusty steed to do battle with the Black Knight. After vanquishing his foe in a jousting match, Arthur will be transported by a concealed road system to the Round Table for a good old slap-up feed with his homeboys.
The idea is to use the pre-made railway as a stage, and the locomotives, instead of being the stars, are the stage hands. You won't actually see the locomotives, they'll be hidden. This is the semi-final. We need to sort of move on to another level and show what else we can do.
It's a very novel idea, but I'm interested in model railways as well, so there may be an issue of what we can see of the trains.
So the trains aren't incidental. The trains are key to the demonstration working as intended.
Well, Graham, it's bold. Very best of luck.
All the teams have opted to extend the basic twin-loop track design we've given them. Corby's plan to pull off 2 operational challenges means adding a 3rd loop of track on an elevated tier.
Yeah, we're going. I've got my shorts on. I'm going for it.
The extra layer track allows us to do the operational challenge the way we want to do it. If we just stayed with what was there, nah, that's not our style.
The Rail Riders have also promised a raised track that will add height and a new dimension of terror to their possessed child's bedroom. Whilst Jenny cracks on with that, Captain Les is branching out and working on some horrific horticulture.
I don't know whether she looks scary or sort of benign. She could be another member of the Rail Riders.
Team Grantham will also have their work cut out. Their quest to depict the legend of King Arthur will revolve quite literally around a huge turntable, which takes centre stage in their pioneering production.
So this circle is the basis for our rotating stage. It's essential that this is a perfect circle because to support the stage there'll be a locomotive either side, and so if there's any errors in the circle, there's a risk the turntable will derail and our whole presentation will fail.
Meanwhile, Les's tree sculpture is already providing some scary moments as rail riders have their first artistic differences.
We've decided to take a creative decision to change what Les is doing. I think it needs to look more tree-like. Trunk works.
Yeah.
Face.
Into there, right?
Into there.
Your arms are below your head. That's why the branches were put below the face.
But Les, it's an enchanted tree.
Yeah, it's an enchanted tree, so... It's constructive criticism, and it will look a lot better when it's done.
Early afternoon on day one of this semi-final. During the heats, the teams learnt how important it is to get their trains running as fast as possible, so they're all pushing hard now to get their boards powered up.
What we've actually done is a lot of the under the baseboard stuff, the electrics, the stuff which doesn't look very fancy to look at, but is quite important later on. So we've kind of laid the groundwork to now hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood, crack on with the build.
In the first round, Corby almost came unstuck when their temperamental volcano failed to erupt. Rather than playing it safe in this round, they're risking everything by taking time to lay an additional layer of track.
We've already tested the low-level track, but the upper-level track, until we get these circuits finished and various blocks in place, it may be last thing today, but if not, first thing in the morning.
While engineering works continue on the boards, in the design room, they're busy with the scenic elements teams hope will light up their layouts. Fresh from taking his axe to Les's enchanted tree, Simon has now decided to dismember the rail riders' rolling stock, including a much-loved tank engine.
So for the purposes of our layout, we're going to make two custom sort of ghost trains, sort of kit-bashed from children's toys. We're going to have the Flying Spooksman instead of the Flying Scotsman, and a couple of other trains dotted around the layout. I'm not much of a speed builder. I'm hurrying things I would normally take weeks and, months over. So we'll see if this comes out okay.
What we're basically doing is taking models which we've purchased and converting them into medieval people. We find a model of a cowboy. You can see there's an arm that would bend. We chop it off. We don't mess about. Just hacksaw it off and reposition it and give us a shape which would be appropriate for holding a lance. The knight's helmet was a very thin plasticard, little black stripe across the front for his eye hole and a small amount of feather from home out of a cushion. And there we have it.
Meanwhile, back in the display room, Thomas's teammates have been doing their bit too. The trains are now running.
Yes.
And that's not all. Grantham's revolutionary turntable stage is ready to be revolved.
This is first time. Bing! Andrew will now, no doubt, crank it up to 100%, see how fast it really can go. So I think that demonstrates we've got plenty of power.
Warning, railway modelling can be a perilous activity.
You're going to be okay?
Yeah. We might go to A&E.
Simon, who's been working on converting some of the trains, has actually just drilled right through his finger.
Simon going to A&E certainly wasn't in our game plan. It does leave us a man down. Simon's obviously a very talented member of the team. Not with drilling things, it turns out, but I think we can cope. It's going to be tough, but nobody said this was going to be easy.
Whew. As an eventful day one draws to a close, the judges retire to the station house to consider the provisional scores they'll award the teams, based on creativity.
Day one of this semi-final, and the creativities are crackling in there, Tim?
Absolutely. Let's start with Team Grantham. Creatively, what have they got going on their board?
Nothing as yet, but they're going to effectively stage a theatrical production with a revolving stage, 3 scenes, all powered by hidden trains. It's all pretty mind-blowing. Steve, how is your mind coping with this?
This is incredibly avant-garde. For model railways, you know, some of the purists are going to be, you know, coughing into their tea.
Steve, provisionally?
Provisionally, if it works, it'll be fantastic. If it fails, their failure could be legendary. My target mark is a 4.
What kind of provisional mark would you give them for creativity?
From a creative point of view, it is just so radical, but it's definitely worth a 4.
Well, what do you make of the rail riders with that huge tree ripping up through this child's bedroom?
I think it's amazingly imaginative. I'm just a little scared by it.
Credit to rail riders, they've had to cope with remodelling a tree, but they've also gone and lost Simon, poor chap, with his injured finger.
I'm worried because Simon was doing a lot of the modifications on the train. Is it going to affect their chances? But I think it's going to be a truly stunning-looking layout. So I'm going to give him a 4.
Steve, provisionally?
This is another one that's beyond the bounds of normal model railways. This is Toy Story with terror. Wow. It's a 4 target mark from me.
OK. Corby MRS, then. Now, Tim, they've got all your favourites in their layout.
Godzilla.
He's there.
T-Rex.
Yes. Nessie.
Nessie's there. Kathy, how do you feel about them creatively?
My worry is they seem to have just taken a big bag of monsters and shaken it out all over the board. It's just too much.
Score?
I'm going to give him a 3.
Francis seems to think that the more track they build, the more chance they'll have that some of it will work.
Well, you don't usually mark it on the basis that they've got a contingency plan. So, you know, things could go desperately wrong. Maybe it's just too risky for them. So, from a creative point of view, I'm going to give them a 3. That's a forecast figure because they may prove me wrong.
I'm thoroughly excited by these semi-finals because there are no pre-builds. There's no making stuff at home. This is all about what they can make right here and right now. This sorts the wheat from the chaff.
This is as tough as it gets.
Wowzers! The 2 most radical layout designs ever proposed on GMRC have captured the judges' imaginations. And after the opening salvos, Grantham and Rail Riders share the lead.
Team Corby are still in the hunt, but they'll need to get a wiggle on if they're going to finish their 2-tiered layout on schedule.
We were hoping to get our top track laid and tested today. Unfortunately, that's not happened. Sometimes you have to sacrifice speed for quality.
Yep, now speaking of sacrifice, Rail Riders lost a man in the line of duty today, but Simon, it would appear, is no ordinary man. Guess who's back?
Yay! Oh! How are you doing?
I thought I'd give you a hand.
Well, look, I'm so glad you're back.
Look, your interpretation
Oh,
now.
my God, that's brilliant. Oh. Les, you've done a great job with branches.
Oh, thanks. Simon's back and it's a massive relief. The injury, not nice, but it's not life-threatening. He's still got the use of his limbs and everything, so we've sent him into the craft room, got the whip out and told him to get on with it. Can't waste any more time.
One day into this semi-final, and so far it's been a bit hit and miss for our tables of Fable. Grantham are a little behind, but are hoping to rock the crowd with their fine bass and turntable set. Bonus tracks may prove the problem for Corby. We'll need to get them laid in record time. But it's Rail Riders who are currently out in front. They've been well drilled, particularly in Simon's case, with a very atmospheric blend of bogies and bogey men. What will day 2 hold?
The theme of this heat, myths, monsters, legends and fables, has inspired these teams to come up with some hugely creative designs.
Big pressure day today. The track we know is working. We've got to finish doing the landscaping. We've got to be 99.999% finished.
Team Grantham ended day one on a high, but when we got back to to the pub last night, cold reality hit, and we realised the myriad of things that still need to be done today.
The teams are chasing marks for their build quality today, so Corby need to get their double-decker track squared away. Toot sweet.
They're all working away underneath. The wiring's going in now for all the point motors and all that. A little bit behind, but we should be fine.
Corby have sent 16-year-old team member Will below decks to make sure the entire track is wired up. It's a mammoth operation.
If you make one mistake, Will, the layout doesn't work.
Yeah, we've got to give each piece of track that's on each board a separate wire.
Right.
Because we're running on DCC. Each individual train has its own little computer chip that will respond to the controller, which is basically a computer.
The team are putting a lot of trust in you, because underneath this board here, it'll be like the British Telecom Exchange. You know where every one of them goes, which is amazing. What do your friends think of what you do?
The only response I get from my friends when I talk about this sort of thing is, "Oh, trains."
Well, like winding you up?
Yeah.
Right.
Although it doesn't get to me anymore. You see a layout like this, and you'll see trains running, lights flashing, points changing, and you just get the satisfaction of going, I did that.
Well, I don't want to interrupt that, so I'll leave you to it, but thanks for having a chat, dude, and great work.
Thanks.
With build quality at the forefront of the scoring today, our judges are keeping a beady eye on how the team's scenics are progressing.
From each semi, 2 teams go through to the final. But these are the best of the best. They can't afford to take it for granted. They need to keep on pushing. They need to give us their A game.
Worryingly, Team Grantham don't appear to have got the memo. Their medieval layout is taking Middle Ages to materialise, with their scenics still off the board and vast expanses that still need filling.
Graham, halfway through day 2, there's not a lot on your layout, if you don't mind me saying.
We're just making sure all the functional items are finished and they're working correctly.
Well, I mean, I'm sure the functionality is going to be perfect, but build quality is an essential ingredient, and if it's not there, I can't judge it.
OK, thank you. It might seem like there's still not much on the board, but I'm not worried, because tomorrow I know it's all going to come together and look fantastic.
Adding to the things to do on day 2 is the Scratch Build Challenge, and as in the heat, one member of each team must take part. Their task is to take random objects and model them into their semi-final layout, with the winner earning 2 vital bonus points for their team.
Guys, you know the drill. You've been here before. It's time for the Scratch Build Challenge. I know the pressure is on. I've basically stolen 3 items from Steve's house. First item, some hair rollers. Next item, it's a toe separator. And the most terrifying item, 3 videotapes. Series 1 Great Model Railway Challenge, Steve Flint's best bits. You want that? Dude, honestly, I would not watch that. The Best of Ballasting, 1996.
Oh, yes, please.
OK. And the last one is, what does that say?
It says Baywatch, but it's crossed out.
Spring Watch.
Ideal.
Go, go, go.
Right, Baywatch or Springwatch. Pamela Anderson was a very good actress, or so I'm told, of course.
Quite like the idea of making a kid's robot in there with some of the parts.
I might take over building the gatehouse from you. That would do for one wall, and then we can make the other wall out of cardboard. Toe separators, and I'm figuring these are ornamental bits just to hang at the top.
Done.
And it's there.
While Andrew gets busy with the toe separators, his teammates prepare to road test the operational challenge on their Arthurian layout. They must load an item onto a train, transport it across their board, and unload it again without touching it. And this being Team Grantham, rather than just transporting a simple box or package, nope, their cargo will be King Arthur himself.
Just talk me through how this is supposed to run.
The road vehicle chassis is being held by a magnetic switch that's held in position until it's released now.
Oh.
And that sets the road vehicle off moving down the roadway.
Jeepers.
There you go. So we've just got the last little bit of that to perfect, as you can see.
You say that like it's the simplest thing in the world.
It's all hinges on this little magnet steering mechanism following the guide wire under the road surface. What I use is this, and this is simple 1mm garden wire, so it's quite a big chunk of steel. And then card over the top is a minimal thickness between the wire and the little magnet on the vehicle.
The big jeopardy now
Yes.
is to see if you can get a horse to stay on it with a knight on top in full armour.
That's this afternoon's challenge.
Ooh, it's taken the best part of 2 days, but Corby's monster track layout has now roared into life.
As you can see, we have a number of trains running around. Now it's just a case of getting the scenery completed. Good work. Looking really good. Mate, high five. Have it. Yes, come on.
Time flies when you're competing in the Scratch Build Challenge, and with only an hour to go, Mike from Corby is really up against it.
When they say it's a 90-minute tape, that's how long it takes to get it off the spool. Now, what did I do with that scalpel?
Piste de resistance. So that's the viewing window that was in the cassette, and I've illuminated it from behind so you can see the Team Grantham stained glass window. We're happy with it. If someone's come up with something better on their layouts, I'm happy to go down to a better man.
Well, here I've made a child's robot out of Steve Flint's best bits. It's got its long flowing hair, which is made from the dreadlocks of the tape. I suppose it has got reggae vibes. It's almost like Wally meets Bob Marley. Bob Wally.
Teams, 10 minutes left, that is it. Just 10 minutes left of the Scratch Build Challenge.
Right, a bit of siding space. Let's hope it doesn't all fall apart on me. That's there.
10, 9, 8. Get it on, Les. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is it. Please step back from your layouts. The Scratch Build Challenge has finished. Step away from your layouts. Andrew, Team Grantham. So, Scratch Build Challenge, toe separator, hair rollers, and also the videotape, the VHS cassette. I mean, it's a fairly sparse layout, so can I hazard a guess that it might be that thing, which is pretty much the only thing on the board?
It is indeed.
What are we looking at?
So this side of the structure is made up from the case of the VHS cassette. I've used one of the windows that was in the side of the cassette, and I've coloured it and put some backlighting in, so we have a nice illuminated stained glass window.
That's great.
In the upper part of the tower. From inside the tape, I've used one of the spools to make this round shield that's above the gateway, and the tape itself is used to make the pennants that are flying from the flagpoles.
Wow.
The hair rollers, I think, are fairly obvious.
Yeah.
They're forming the tower structures at the corner.
Yeah, I like what he's done with the toe separators as well.
That is pretty ingenious. You must be proud of that. Mike, Team Corby, I cannot see a single one of the three items. Where are they hiding?
The toe separators, sprayed grey, have metamorphosed into concrete storage racks.
OK, where are the hair curlers?
The coils of barbed wire, I sprayed them grey.
Excellent. So I can't wait to see what you've done with the videotape.
Theme park is going to have a gate guardian.
Gate guardian?
An attraction to pull the crowds in.
Right.
It's mounted on a plinth made from the two spools from the cassette tape.
What colour have they been sprayed? Grey?
Indeed.
Right. You know, I love the vibrancy of the colour scheme here.
Thank you very
Come
much.
on, Kathy. Les, what hellish, demonic items, creations have you come up with the Scratch Build Challenge?
Well, I took Steve Flint's best bits and created a Wally Marley kind of robot with glowing eyes and like a laser gun and everything.
Hang on, stop. A what?
A Wally Marley.
What the hell's a Wally
Well,
Marley?
he's got sort of dreadlocks.
So it's a Rastafarian...
Yes.
Does the tape keep jamming?
Oh, shucks.
Cute and scary, Kathy. Is that even possible?
And moving on, again, these pink rollers have made a whole series of fencing.
Oh, wow.
And it's got the zombies in it.
Oh, yes.
Now, with the material I took off, sprayed it white, and we've got a blind. The toe separators I've cut and made into sort of the fancy headstones that you'll find in graveyards.
All three of the items used in a highly creative fashion, Les.
Thank you very
Well
much.
done.
Thank you.
It's pretty tense out there at the moment, and then we chuck the Scratch Build Challenge at them just to make things even more hellish. Let's start with Team Corby. How do you think they did?
Top marks for getting them all on the layout, for getting everything finished. Not quite as many marks for creativity.
A little bit, kind of spray paint, bang, get it out there.
I was hoping for a little more from the semi-final.
Right, let's move on to the rail riders.
I think they scored hugely for creativity on that creature. It was scary, and it used all the elements of the cassette
Yeah, and the
tape.
fencing. I mean, the fencing stole the show in terms of creativity.
But you know, I literally just looked at that area and I hadn't even spotted them.
Moving on from Les, who thoroughly enjoyed himself, to another guy who had a great time with the Scratch Build Challenge, Andrew.
I really like the fact it's one cohesive whole, and the clincher thing was probably the stained glass window.
So who are you going to give it to?
It's really tight, but it's going to be Team Grantham.
I'm delighted to say I've won the Scratch Build Challenge.
Well done, well done, well done.
Fantastic. I'm really pleased about that. Those 2 points could be critical to getting us through the competition, and I'm really pleased that my efforts paid off.
Elsewhere, things are looking up for Corby. They may have missed out on 2 bonus points, but with their trains now running, they can focus their efforts on their animations, including their plans for one of 2 Lady of the Lakes in this semi-final, Excalibur.
The hand's not coming all the way up, though. Now it is.
We need to get our mist going. Yes, and we're getting mist coming out all over it. Brilliant.
All 3 layouts have expanded today, but quality is more important than quantity when it comes to build quality marks.
Well, the plot thickens. Here we are, 2 days into our semi-final.
Let's start with the sparsest looking board, Team Grantham.
The rotating stage is tremendously well built, and the delivery system for the operational challenge works perfectly.
They haven't done much as far as the scenery is concerned, but my target mark for build quality is going to be a 4 because the engineering beneath the boards is really superb.
It is impressive. Kathy, have you been similarly tickled by it?
I'm underwhelmed at the moment. There is nothing really on the board except that green foam stuff, which actually doesn't look like grass. I'm going to go with a 2.
Whoa, a 2.
Let's discuss Corby and their Terra Fabulis. This has really taken shape today. There are tracks that work. One thing I wanted to ask you about was the Lady of the Muddy Puddle, which forms the centrepiece of their layout.
It's just awful, isn't it? I have a vision of the Lady of the Lake coming out of this beautiful, pristine water, and instead she's going to come out covered in mud.
Kathy, your mark?
I think I'm going to give him a 2.
What?
Whoa.
Corby are just skating below average.
Ouch. Steve?
They've added all that extra track and given themselves a really monster of a task. But I'm a little bit more optimistic. I'm going to target them with a 3 for build quality.
Let's move on to the rail riders. Steve, how do you feel?
As the day went on, the modelling in the middle really began to spring to life. I'm sure we're going to see something quite positive from them.
So what are you going to give them?
And I'm going to forecast a 3.
OK. 3, fair enough, Kathy?
I really love that central bit of greenery. I wish the floorboards were actually being broken up by it. I think that would have been really effective. And then I feel like the stuff around the outside has just been put there. So my mark is going to be a 3.
We haven't got a clear leader yet.
Well, one thing is for sure, this is clearly turning into a bit of a tough battle.
Not for the faint-hearted.
Well, Team Grantham cut down to size by Kathy on build quality there, which means, despite the Scratch Build Challenge win, their lead is a slender one. Corby set to be the team sent home, but with the functionality test still to come, could they steal it?
As you can see, we've now progressed rapidly, and it definitely doesn't look like the layout we were working on earlier.
Atmosphere and the tension in the room, you could cut it with a knife, but you know, there's only a few hours left. We've just got to pull all the stops out and hope that we do enough to get to final.
Last day of this semi-final, and pick your winner. Could it be Grantham, who are showing a daring disregard for the deadline? The Rail Riders, who's moved from a tree of terror to a grumpy stump, could come back to haunt them. Or, coming out of left field with momentum, Corby. Could their Labour yet win them Kathy and Steve's vote? It's all to play for.
Today, all eyes will be on our teams as they attempt to overcome the fearsome operational challenge and transport an item by rail across their layout without touching it with their pinkies.
We have 3 outstanding teams, but the operational challenge has been designed to be really tough and will reveal which 2 teams are worthy of a place in the final. There is no margin for error.
In the design room, Mel has got her hands full perfecting the mechanism she hopes will deliver the goods for her team.
So this is a store-built kind of scary hand.
Yes.
Which you've repainted, and you've drilled into the finger, right? Quite a popular pastime in your team this week, isn't it?
Yes, not the only hand that's been dismembered.
Right. But yeah, like Simon, this one's made a full recovery.
It's part of our operational challenge to get the load off of the wagon.
Right, and how are you going to do that?
Flick it off.
Hello. Yours is one layout that's definitely going to finish with a big hand, Mel.
Ha, 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 ha.
Locomotives normally take centre stage on a model railway, but on Grantham's revolutionary layout, they've been demoted to mere stagehands, ferrying around the main stars.
And trying to get the lances on the two knights set to angles at which it's going to work, that the white knight knocks the black knight off his horse and not the other way around. Only the history of the British Isles is at stake here. It was better than expected.
Excellent. No, that's just the effect we're after, isn't it?
It's all hands in deck now as this tournament nears its climax. But Corby still haven't tested either of their operational challenges yet.
We've got an hour to go, so now we're getting things sorted out so that we can actually test the operations.
The centrepiece of Grantham's layout is their round table, the rotating stage that will serve as the setting for their three-act performance. But it's going to be a drama to get it ready for opening night.
Time is of the essence, so we're literally throwing paint at it.
We've left a lot of this to the last minute, but hopefully it'll all come together. Tom, clear that. I am stressed.
And there's no rest for the wicked either. Rail riders need to run power to their animations, but they've forgotten to leave a space for the wiring in their wallpapered back scene. Uh-oh.
I need a hole cut out somehow.
This is calm Les. Stressed Les is like off the ceiling.
DIY experts around the world are going, what is this madman doing?
You have just 30 minutes left.
With the clock ticking, Corby are being held up by the arrival of the biggest monster yet, Tim.
Guys, tell me you've tested your operational challenge.
No, not yet.
Why is there a smile on your face about that?
We're confident.
But you haven't tested it. Leave us alone.
Attention teams, you have 10 minutes remaining. 10 minutes remaining.
Ness is on the move. Ness is on the move. Well done, Kevin. Play. Come on.
Sorry, I broke some of this drill.
Corby have Nessie locked and loaded, so that's one operational challenge ready. But with just minutes remaining, can they sort the second?
So what we're going to do now is roll the pipe over, off of this platform, hopefully onto the wagon.
There we go.
There we go.
You have just 5 minutes remaining of the competition.
Completely zonked on adrenaline.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant.
1 minute remaining. 5, 4, Mike, you're going to have to step back. 3, 2, 1. Everybody, all team members, step back from their layouts, please. Give yourselves a massive round of applause. Well done.
My heart's pounding, if I'm honest, but it looks fantastic. Magic, magic.
Yeah, well, what we've created here is fantastic. In some cases, it's exceeded expectations. I think we do have a good shot of winning this.
We've put every ounce of blood, sweat and tears, bad language, cursing and everything that's gone into that. It has really become a possessed layout.
There's a sense of occasion at Fawley Hill as the team's friends and families arrive to cheer them on. The top two teams will make it through to the grand final, and although Grantham look well clear of the danger zone, the demonstration and operational challenge mean any one of these three teams could find themselves on that next train home.
First to demonstrate, Corby MRS. They've overcome early setbacks to create a double-decker, monster-infested theme park. But have they overstretched themselves by attempting to pull off not one, but two operational challenges?
Terra Fabulous.
Yes.
We have all sorts of monsters and creatures.
Yes.
Including the Loch Ness Monster.
Correct.
Who's on her way around the track, arriving here at the Phantom Zone Monster Theme Park to be united with Godzilla.
Yes.
At long last.
Yes.
Along the way, there's some animations.
Yes.
A lady will appear from the lake.
Well, I hope King Kong doesn't go wrong.
No.
Godzilla's a thriller. Are we not all left nervous, Rex? So who's ready to see the operational challenges? Two of them.
Nessie is arrived in his tank.
It's in the end.
And across, and down on the wagon.
Hey, it's down. Right.
So Nessie's now on the move, all the way around the layout.
Yeah.
We're going to come to about this point.
I see.
Nessie to get back round to the unloading crane at the other end of the layout. And now, hopefully,
go.
Loch Ness Monster will.
Oh, in goes the arm. One hook has got in, onto the next. And now we rely on... Oh, it's across, and will it make it down? It's not going to foul the train, it's nearly there. Yeah. We have touchdown! Yes. Operational challenge, tick.
Do you want to stick with that, or do you want to jeopardise it and go for the double whammy?
We're going to go for a double whammy, because I think we can do this.
Man, you crazy.
So we've got the pipe on the deck. We go.
Good skills.
And off we go. The pipe will come round, the track is angled.
So this pipe is supposed to roll off in front of King Kong.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, come on. Right, and now hopefully the Lady of the Lake should appear.
Oh, something's appearing.
Excalibur, come in.
Oh.
Hey!
Ladies and gentlemen, Team Corby, give them a round of applause. Well done.
Next up, it's the Rail Riders, who hope to grab this semi by the ghoulies with a Halloween-themed layout packed with tricks and treats. But have they done enough to enchant our judges?
Jenny of the Rail Riders. So we're in a child's bedroom and this possessed tree has ripped up through the floorboards and basically taken control of all the toys and turned them evil.
It's Halloween and all their toys appear to come to life in their nightmares. So in the middle we've got the ghost train going round with wagons full of all sorts of creepy crawlies. We've got the flying spooksman powered by skulls passing through Manifestation. We've got the child's toy chest in the corner, and I think I can hear the sound of something horrible lurking from within, and we'll be ready to leap out into this nightmare. And leap out into this nightmare.
Where are those screams coming from?
Les, is that you? Where are you?
Wow, it's terrifying. Now, what I want to know about is the operational challenge.
We're going to be transporting our hearse with coffin from one side of the layout into the siding next to the finger where we will deliver it to the waiting funeral party.
Rail Riders, in your own time, give us your operational challenge.
The first stage is to put the locomotive and truck into the siding where we will pick up our hearse very shortly.
So the hearse is loaded.
The next stage is for our locomotive to pull out of the siding and stop. We will now change the points.
This is delicate.
Reverse back. There we go. And we will continue along that curve, possibly stopping sometime around now. And we move forward with our locomotive and our hearse into the siding, slowing a little bit for the buffer stop. And now...
That concludes the Rail Riders show. Well done, guys.
The Knights of Team Grantham are last to go into battle. Their revolutionary reimagining of the Arthurian legend is the most avant-garde design ever seen on the Great Model Railway Challenge. But is the railway modelling world really ready for a layout where the trains themselves are deliberately concealed from view?
Graham, Team Grantham presents Knights of the Roundabout Table.
Indeed.
Very nicely done. Yeah.
Come on, let's see it.
OK, then. Right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a time when knights were bold and Tim and James's jokes were already very old. In the days of old, of course, knights in armour were actually quite heavy and it was difficult to manoeuvre onto horses, so there was often a winch arrangement and a little sturdy fella there who did the winching. So, Andrew, if you'd like to attempt the first part of the challenge, which is the loading challenge.
Oh, look at that.
And now the horse very obediently reverses, as of course all horses do.
Yes. Big relief there, Graham.
Big relief there. And now the horse is now going to go around the layout.
So what's the next thing we're expecting to see?
Here is our Lady of the Lake scene. Yeah, here she is. Excalibur in hand.
No way.
All right.
Hang on. So what's happening here?
Yes,
Oh.
he has the sword.
Arthur has Excalibur.
He picked the sword up. That was impressive engineering there. Well done. Wow.
OK, disturbing the peace of the realm.
Yep.
This is the Black Knight. You get the idea.
Oh, with his kebab
With a
stick.
rather threatening-looking kebab stick. So the stage is now set for the joust.
Oh. Quickly-clop, quickly-clop. And who's going to win? Straight up.
The knight that was loaded onto the rail wagon is now going to be unloaded from the rail wagon. Now...
Oh my gosh! That was amazing.
And pauses at the gates of Camelot Castle. The stage rotates. The drawbridge can be lowered. There we go.
Ta-da. Wow!
Team Grantham, ladies and gentlemen.
Well done, guys.
With the demos over, the judges retire to consider their verdict.
Corby stuck their necks out by promising 2 operational challenges. Both Nessie and the pipes were safely transported to their destinations. But will those successes deliver the Steelmen a place in the final?
I was actually happy that the majority of the layout functioned as designed. There were a couple of little niggles, but gremlins sneak up on the best of us.
No gremlins, but ghosts and ghouls galore on Rail Riders layout. Will their use of store-bought animations, though, come back to haunt them?
I think we're in with a chance of winning. We've given it our all. It's down to the judges to decide which they think is the best.
Intrepid engineers Team Grantham are hoping their demo will bring them one step closer to the holy grail of railway modelling.
I think we're all sort of shattered after the experience of the last 3 days, but I'm immensely proud of the team. In the last 2 hours, it all came together. Everybody worked hard to a fixed plan, and we just about got over the line.
Things are really hotting up in this Great Model Railway Challenge semi-final. Our 3 teams have put forward 3 radically different interpretations of the myths and legends theme. But for one of them, there will be no fairy tale ending.
That was extraordinary and really difficult. These people starting off with 0 on their layouts, having to create everything from scratch and also incorporate
the operational challenge.
Yes. Grantham, very simple and quite plain layout, but incredibly sophisticated animations. How well did they work for you?
Well, the animations were amazing. The amount of faith they put in their engineering is incredible. And it worked 99% perfectly. Just one negative point, I thought the actual scenic finish was just a bit chilly. It just didn't have enough atmosphere.
I really loved the night when he came off. He rode his horse round through the guardhouse onto the stage and then just stopped and the lights came on. It was just seamless.
I was walking around there thinking these guys are never going to pull this off. And to be fair to Graham, he said to me it's going to work like clockwork, and it did.
Steve, I want to hear your thoughts about how well Corby's Monsterama, their Terra Fabulis, performed.
The operational challenge featuring Nessie worked quite well. The wagon and the locomotive almost got to the other end without faltering. They had a couple of nudges to the wagon, but Nessie definitely got from one end of the board to the other.
They did 2 operational challenges, a risk they took, but it pulled it off.
Yes, certainly. The second one was more simplistic, I suspect, but it did work.
Kathy, what are your thoughts?
I love the mist in the middle. It just gave such a beautiful effect to the whole of that centre section, which quite frankly I think the layout was needing something just to bring it up a little. It did come across as quite mundane. It's up and down. There were plus points like the operational challenge ran well, and then there's negatives like the animations were really brought in and put on.
Well, that leaves Rail Riders. Here they had this really bold concept of the child's bedroom that had been possessed. What did you make of it?
It was a great concept, wasn't it? A tree bursting up in the middle of the floor and scaring everything. I don't think it burst quite as much as I was expecting. There were loads of little things that just didn't quite click in my brain. From what they said they were going to deliver to what actually was there, I felt they missed it a little.
Steve, what did you think?
The operational challenge to get a load from one side to the other, which featured a hearse, really didn't do it for me. It was a bit mundane.
I do feel they ought to be applauded for their boldness.
Overall, these people were traditional railway modellers, and with this theme, they really thought outside of the box.
Well, sounds like you two have some thinking to do. Let's make like a possessed tree.
No, and leave. Sorry. So teams, this is it, verdict time.
Your layouts were fabulous. You gave us everything from nights to nightmares, but unfortunately only 2 of you can go through to the final and one team must go home. Judges?
In first place, Team Grantham.
Well done, guys.
And second place, and also going through to the final, Rail Riders.
Congratulations to Les and the Rail Riders as they go through with runaway winners Team Grantham.
Huge commiserations to the excellent Team Corby, who, despite outmarking the Rail Riders in the functionality test, miss out on a place in the final by the finest of margins.
Rail Riders narrowly pipped Corby to the post with their innovation and creativity. That layout was shocking and will live in the memory for a long time.
Words fail me because I didn't expect us to be going through. Proud of our team. We've had a few ups and downs, but we've overcome all the issues and we got it sorted and it came together at the last minute. I'm going to go home a very happy man, very happy indeed.
I'm slightly disappointed that we didn't get through, but hey, we're up against some great teams. Yes, we're going home as losers, but we're happy to have been here.
Grantham, what a team. Engineering excellence that entertained and excited in equal measure.
Immensely proud of Team Grantham. They've all put in a tremendous effort in the last final push to get the layout ready in time. And yes, it was a great experience.
Next time, 3 more teams return to slug it out for the last 2 slots in the grand final. Blockbuster movies is the theme. Who will put in an award-winning performance and who will end up on the cutting room floor?
The winning team is...
That's next Saturday at 6:25 as the Great Model Railway Challenge continues. Later tonight at 10, it's Fight Night on 5 live, Bellator 230, and we're headed to Milan, where the main event is the fight for the light heavyweight title. Up next, brand new Great Warships tells the remarkable story of the first purpose-built aircraft carrier, the Ark Royal.